What brought you sports joy in 2025 from the 561? And this is the one of the ones that popped into my head. We're going to play this specific highlight. Give me cut number 13, the arrival and this domination from Mikko Rantanen.
Lindell didn't get good one on it, but Sagan got it out. Rantanen again! Unbelievable! A legendary performance by Rantanen against his former team.
That has got to be my favorite hockey call of the year. I'm you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to ask if we could play it again because that Rantanen, I love it. Can you play it one more time? Because not just this game, but trading for Mikko Rantanen brought me sports joy this year.
Lindell didn't get good one on it, but Sagan got it out. Rantanen again! Unbelievable! A legendary performance by Rantanen against his former team.
I love that from the 561. Undoubtedly, Mikko's hat trick against the Avalanche in an elimination game. What a welcome to the stars moment. Yeah, the hat trick being against one of his former teams. Just freaking believable. I loved it. Who would like to go next? I have plenty of other answers, but I want to see what y'all think.
That was high on my list because I remember the emotion of feeling, because I know this show specifically, I feel like we do a pretty good job of covering the Dallas Stars and talking hockey.
Right.
And whenever his name started getting thrown around, and that trade came together pretty quickly.
It did.
So it was like hey, this isn't an idea being discussed. It's a deal that is being figured out. And we're like, ooh, the contract, the assets, great player, but you might be mortgaging the future, blah, blah, blah. Like all these things that we were talking about that could be a little bit too much or whatever. He shut us up pretty quickly. At least me. I'll speak for me and say that any doubt I had about compensation, this, that, and the other, I was like, I'm totally fine. And I remember tweeting after that third goal, and I just said, Mikko Rantanen, a Dallas Star is born. Like that was a career-defining moment, and that's how you make yourself a fan favorite and a household name with the snap of a finger.
And one of the ancillary effects has been the step up of Jason Robertson this year. Now, I realize you could make an argument that it's the Olympic team, it's contractual year. I don't know why I said that instead of just contract year. I don't know. Don't worry about that. But I think Rantanen has upped the physicality of Jason Robertson as well. And I think you're seeing kind of like the Lamb and Pickens dynamic, how they go together, as opposed to you got to keep one or the other. So I've been excited by that side effect just a little bit. Can we go to cut number 11? Because this is most certainly not the lead vote getter for the Mavs. I think it should be, but it's not. This moment brought me all of the sports joy this year.
And that means that the number one pick in the 2025 NBA draft goes to the Dallas Mavericks.
You love to hear it, and somehow one of the most hyped, especially American-born basketball draft picks in the last 25 years. I did not say the most because LeBron exists, but one of the most hyped, and maybe has been even better than anticipated early on. That day, if you've not heard the story, I volunteer with a group called Refugee Resources. They're based in Dallas. If you want to go look them up, I think you should. They're a wonderful organization. We help teach English. We teach Jesus to kids, as you might be able to guess, who were not born here in America. So we had our pizza party that day to wrap up the year, and the pizza party ended at like 6:15. But the draft lottery was still going, and I was like, it's never going to happen, but we'll just wait and see. And then the Mavericks moved into the top 4, and it was tough because you're like hanging out with the kids, eating pizza, but I keep looking over at the TV, and I was like, holy crap, that was the Mavericks spot. We moved into the top 4. Oh, my gosh. And then I started thinking about, could you draft Trey Johnson? Because I still didn't think, you get up to number 1, and so everyone disperses, and the woman who runs it, Elisa, she goes, okay, you guys can go. And I was like, no, I'm sorry. I'm keeping the boys here just for me at this moment because I really need to see how this turns out. And because I was going to take 3 of them home. And so we're watching. And then like it gets down to the last 2. Now all of a sudden I'm like, oh, sweet goodness. Or could we get Cooper Flag? I'm going to freak out. And then we did. And I like started jumping around and cheering. And I told the boys, if we won the first draft pick, that they could destroy my sunglasses because, they're like 12 years old. And so we got out there and I was so excited. They go, can we really destroy your sunglasses? I was like, yep. Threw them on the ground. They stomped those things out. And then when we were driving them home, they started chanting what is surely the leading vote getter thus far. They started chanting Fire Nico. And it was really weird because it was like a 10-minute drive back to their house. They're chanting Fire Nico. I get a call from Mike Bassick and he was like, did we really win the lottery? And he goes, my son said that. I don't know if he's right. And so it was just unbelievable sports joy for me. But from the 214, sports joy, Nico getting fired. From the 940, firing Nico. From the 972, Nico being fired. From the 903, Nico not being here anymore. That feels like the overwhelming leader thus far. But Jacob, I wanted to kick it over to you. Whether it is still Nico based or something else entirely, that is easily the leading vote getter thus far.
So that's not the one for me, and I've seen the one I'm going to do. I've seen it in the text line a couple times. It was seeing my alumni finally have their best football season probably ever. Texas Tech won the Big 12 for the first time in school history. We had a chance to go beat Oregon on Thursday with a chance to go to the national championship semifinal. So that was it for me. On top of the fact that the basketball team was super good this year too.
Yes.
And the Cooper Flag draft pick was up there with me too because my whole life before I even picked the school where I was going to go to, I was a Duke fan. So I followed them very, very closely, and I followed back since Zion was there. All those teams, I still follow Cam Boozer and stuff like that. So I was super psyched that I got a chance to cover Cooper Flag when it came to Dallas. And it looks like it's panning out pretty well so far. So
did I tell you that me and my wife, we went up to New Jersey and then down to San Antonio for the regionals and for the Final Four this
I did
past
not
year?
know that.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah. I'll show you some pictures and videos. So yeah, I'm with you on that. But see, that makes a lot of sense because I put A&M starting 11-0, but obviously the big difference there is they did not get a bye and they're not still alive. To your point, Texas Tech football is 3 wins away from being the national champion. And there is a scenario in which a little bit more than a week from now, Texas Tech will play Indiana for the right to be in the national championship game, which I feel like 5 years ago, you'd probably wait, what are you saying? And so I get that. What do you think about the fact that Texas Tech is an underdog in that game?
I mean, I'm not surprised. I think national media wants Oregon to win that game anyways. It's going to be tough. I mean, if every team wins, if Tech wins and Indiana wins, I mean, you're looking at the fact that you're going to probably have to beat the number 1 and number 2 overall pick in this next draft to get to the national
I
championship.
Can see that, yeah.
Which is it's a pretty tough hill to climb. So I've watched Oregon. I watched them against JMU. Watched them kind of all season. I like to follow that team a lot. They've been really good since I was growing up, and Dante Moore's the real deal, so it's going to be tough, and they're a really good team.
Do you like Moore better than Mendoza?
I do personally, yeah.
Okay, interesting. From the 214, another one right here, Sports Joy, the Stars trading for Rantanen, the biggest trade in franchise history. Ooh, that is interesting. We might have to revisit that at another time. And then from the 817, Sports Joy, was Paige Becker is coming to the Dallas Wings. Everything else is consolation and grieving. Man, I got a chance to go out to a couple of Wings games this year, including I got invited by the Wings to one of them. Gave me awesome seats. It was really fun. I guess that is true. Now, I wanted to throw one more out there because I think this was a national one that brought a lot of people sports joy that maybe you didn't anticipate at the beginning of the year. The Four Nations tournament. in the NHL, man.
Yeah.
Like, because I understand the Texas Tech one, and I said Texas A&M, and we're talking about local things. I understand all of that. It wasn't locally invested, even though the Stars made up of like a fourth of one of those teams. But it feels like the Four Nations that tournament brought a lot of joy to people in the sports world and probably a lot of extra money to the NHL, because that felt like a thing that everyone grabbed onto quickly. And then when you saw how awesome the games were and the fights and intensity, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't miss any of this.
Yeah, and what it did to get attention from non-hockey fans.
Yes.
Like, casual fans definitely enjoyed it, but non-hockey fans, I can't tell you how many people approached me and said, I have not sat down and watched a full-length hockey game until I saw that it took less than 9 seconds for Team USA to drop the gloves and start kicking some ass. And, like, even my girl was saying, I don't really get down with hockey, and I don't even get down with the Olympics. But when I saw Team USA was throwing hands with other countries,
for sure,
like, she knows who Matthew and Brady Tkachuk are. Because
I feel like the popularity or the brand awareness of those two players freaking skyrocketed during that tournament. Well, with that in mind, do you think they can continue to build off of that? Because you're a month and a half away from Olympic hockey, and it stands to reason that the same, if not more, level of intensity will be there.
Yeah, and Olympic hockey is going to be everything that every league wants their Pro Bowl or their All-Star game to be. It is going to be the best players represented on the ice, giving it 110% of what they've got. It's going to do wonders for the league. It's going to get all kinds of international recognition. I feel like here stateside, people who do not usually take in the sport are going to be dialed in just for the love of the country. It's a reason outside of July 4th to get unreasonably patriotic.
Yeah.
And start screaming USA in your living room and stuff. Whenever the only other time I find myself doing that is when I have a Roman candle in my hand out in the backyard. That's the only other time I find myself screaming those three letters at the top of my lungs. But Olympic hockey and the Four Nations will get me to do that whenever they please.
I've seen some people mention some Rangers things, but I haven't seen anybody say this. Can you go ahead and play cut number 12? Because for me, it was getting to see Jacob deGrom pitch a real full season, most starts he's had in 6 years, and it was great.
deGrom delivers 0-2 to Harper. Breaking ball, did he go? He did, says third base umpire Brock Ballou. On a changeup, Harper has become the fourth strikeout victim of Jacob deGrom.
Does that offset by the, I guess, overall disappointing nature of the Rangers season, do we feel like?
Yeah, it did for me, just because it gives me hope that we have a foundation there.
Right.
Because the issue coming into it is he going to stay healthy? What's it going to look like? And the fact that he exceeded expectations, and really the rotation in general, gives me hope that maybe we can figure out how to bring good pitching in and then maybe develop some on the back end. So grand scheme, it gave me hope. And I know whenever you sign an injury-prone guy to a long-term contract, that's the main question. But in his first year, to exceed an innings mark that we didn't think he was even going to sniff, I didn't think he was going to sniff, and for him to do it at the level that we usually know he does, I'm like, oh, and we still have him under control for how many years?
Right. From the 940, I'll disagree with this for one specific reason. Sports High, Rory McIlroy winning the Masters. I have no issue with Rory McIlroy. That moment just made me look like a super dumbass. I'll admit I don't know a whole lot about golf. I've been trying my best. But I went into on Friday, I was like, he's not going to win. I know that for a fact because he doesn't win that tournament. He hadn't won a major in 9 or 10 years. And so then everybody, it was the most golf interaction I've ever gotten from our audience because of that.